North Point is a treasure trove of local flavor, layered history, and under-the-radar gems. It was once a hub for Shanghainese immigrants in the mid-20th century. It earned the nickname Little Shanghai. You'll still find remnants in form of old-style eateries and signages. Explore the Chunyang Street wet market where trams glide right through the bustling market. North Point Promenade stretches roughly 400 meters of enhanced promenade space and is now part of a 1.1 kilometer western stretch that links Fortress Hill to Quarry Bay. The promenade isn't just a walkway, it's a living canvas of urban renewal, community engagement, and waterfront retelling. Kwun Tong is one of Hong Kong's most compelling urban transformations. It was a district that evolved from salt pans to smokestacks to street art. Explore the Kwun Tong Promenade, a reclaimed stretch offering harbor views and public art, perfect for reflective walks. In this vlog, I'll be visiting North Point and Kwun Tong, two very important and distinct districts in Hong Kong that both went through dramatic transformations. North Point is a fascinating microcosm of Hong Kong's layered urban evolution, a place where salt pans, power stations, Shanghainese theaters, and privatized waterfronts all converged. The name North Point first originally appeared in 1845, coined by Royal Engineer Lieutenant Thomas Collison to mark the northernmost cape on Hong Kong Island. Before British colonization, nearby Tat Zi Mui village was already settled, likely in the early 19th century, making it one of the oldest communities in the area. The first developments in North Point centered around Shao Kei Wan Road, which is now King's Road, such as the Metropole Hotel built in 1899, used until 1906, where the Metropole building today stands. The hotel was described in an advertisement as a popular resort occupying a charming seaside location with first-class refreshments and dinners. It was later rebranded as Bellevue Hotel from 1906 to 1916, and the North Point Hotel from 1917 to 1919, which was easily accessible by tram service every few minutes. In 1919, the North Point Power Station became Hong Kong's second electricity plant built on reclaimed land and powered by steam turbines sourced from Canada. This marked North Point's shift from rural fringe into industrial node, a transformation echoed in the later developments like North Point Estate. By the mid-20th century, North Point became a haven for Shanghainese immigrants, earning the nickname Little Shanghai. The Sunbeam Theatre, opened in 1972, became a cultural anchor for Cantonese opera and Shanghainese drama, a rare surviving venue amid widespread redevelopment. The second group that moved to North Point were Hokkien Fujianese, who were mostly displaced by political events in China, but then soon mostly moved to countries in Southeast Asia, such as Philippines and Indonesia. During the late 1960s, North Point was also known as Little Fujian. The Fujianese set up grocery shops on Chunyang Street, which offer a variety of traditional Fujianese foods, such as miso, tokiwa, kikyo, lumpia, and green bean cake, which are all staples of Chinese Filipino cuisine in Philippines. There are plenty of under-the-radar places to explore in North Point, such as the Oil Street Art Space, the Promenade Center and City Garden, and the North Point Promenade. The Oil Street Art Space is a former government supplies depot turned into a creative hub. The Promenade Center and City Garden, a bunch of residential complexes with limited public access to the waterfront, raising questions about urban equity and planning legacies. The North Point Promenade is a short but scenic stretch near the ferry pier, one of the few truly accessible waterfront spots. North Point Street Grid is a living archive of Hong Kong's industrial, cultural, and migratory history, and several street names are literal clues to its past. Kings Road is the spine of North Point, a historic east-west artery that threads markets, theaters, tram lines, and mid-century tenements. The road runs all the way from Causeway Bay near Tin Hau to Sai Wan Ho, cutting through Fortress Hill, North Point, and Quarry Bay. Originally part of Shao Kei Wan Road, it was renamed in 1935 to honor King George V's Silver Jubilee. Hong Kong tram lines run right along Kings Road. It is the only double-decker tram system in the world. North Point's MTR station sits directly beneath, with exits leading to Chunyang Street, Marble Road, and Java Road. The cultural anchors of Kings Road include the Sunbeam Theatre and the former State Theatre. The Sunbeam Theatre is a rare survivor of Cantonese opera and Shanghainese drama, opened in 1972. The former State Theatre is a Grade 1 historic building currently undergoing revitalization, known for its iconic parabolic roof. North Point is known for its wet markets, cha-chang tanks, and Tonglao tenements lining the streets, especially near Chunyang Street and Marble Road. North Point Center is a 1974 residential complex with a total of 264 units, which was emblematic of mid-century urban planning. Some symbolic street names nearby include Electric Road and Power Street, along with Tong Shui Road. Both Electric Road and Power Street were named after the 1919 North Point Power Station. The name Tongshui Road is translated from Chinese Sugar Water Road, which is tied to a planned sugar factory that never materialized. Electric Road is where infrastructure meets identity. It's named for the North Point Power Station, built in 1919 to replace the aging Wang Chai factory. The name itself is a living reminder of Hong Kong's electrification journey from coal-fired turbines to modern grid systems. Originally, the trams ran along Electric Road before being rerouted to King's Road, a shift funded in part by the Hong Kong Electric to expand their station. Today, it is lined with Grade A office towers like 148 Electric Road and 228 Electric Road, housing consulates, medical offices, and retail podiums. Electric Road preserves the industrial DNA of North Point. Tongshui means sugar water, a nod to Kwun Tong, the Java sugar king who reclaimed the land in the early 20th century. He planned a sugar refinery on the site, but the global price crash scraped the idea, and instead he built residential blocks. Nearby Chunyang Street and Java Road also honor his legacy. Chunyang for his name and Java for his origin of his sugar imports. The road runs from Victoria Harbour to a T-junction with King's Road. Includes an exit slip road from the Island East Corridor, home to the North Point tram terminus right by Chunyang Street and the wet market. It's a street that is never fulfilled due to its industrial identity, yet became a hub of immigrant resilience, transit symbolism, and urban reinvention. Chunyang Street is the heartbeat of North Point, a cinematic corridor where trams glide through wet markets and history hums beneath the chaos. Chunyang Street is the only street in Hong Kong where trams run directly through a wet market, a surreal blend of transit and commerce. The North Point tram terminus sits at the western end of the Chunyang Street wet market, making this stretch a symbolic finale to the Island Line. Chunyang Street is known for its fresh produce and seafood, old-school vendors selling clothing and trinkets. The stalls overflow with fresh fruits, vegetables, live fish, and Cantonese delicacies, a sensory overload in the best way. Many stalls are family-run, with generations behind the counter. It's a living archive of Hong Kong's grassroots economy. Beyond food, you'll find stores selling jewelry, household goods, and nostalgic knickknacks tucked into the corners. The street was named after Kwun Tong, the Java sugar king who reclaimed the land and planned a sugar refinery that never materialized. The area became a haven for Shanghainese immigrants in the 1950s, and echoes of Little Shanghai that still linger in signages and cuisine. The street's narrowness, density, and tram tracks reflect Hong Kong's layered spatial logic, where infrastructure and daily life intertwine. Get Instagrammable and iconic shots at Chunyeong Street, including tram shots when the trams roll through the market and during golden hour, with late afternoon light bouncing off the produce stalls and neon signs, making for cinematic photography. Java Road is the spine of North Point's industrial and maritime memory, a street that was once pulsed with sugar refinement, Dutch steamers, and civic ambition. The Dutch shipping firm Koninklijk Java China Hatagvark Lijan ran sea routes between Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Java, then part of the Netherlands East Indies. The road cut across land reclaimed by Kwun Tong, the Java Sugar King, whose empire imported sugar from Java. Java Road is a transitional access from Fortress Road's older tenements to Quarry Bay's glass towers. It's where shipping history meets civic infrastructure and where sugar trade once shaped the shoreline. North Point, Hong Kong offers a fascinating blend of local life, traditional charm, and evolving urban identity. Use TripAdvisor to look for the best point of interest in North Point. Yesim stands out as a premier eSIM provider renowned for its comprehensive coverage across 150 plus countries and its innovative approach to connectivity solutions. With a focus on affordability and flexibility, Yesim offers a diverse range of data plans tailored to individual needs, including single country, global, and regional eSIM packages. One of Yesim's standout features is its international eSIM, designed for globetrotters who demand flexibility and cost effectiveness. This empowers travelers to stay connected without constraints. Use my link to check out and purchase the Yesim eSIM today. Despite its harborfront location, North Point's waterfront access is notoriously fragmented, as it is blocked by residential towers, government facilities, and industrial remnants. A $1.18 billion boardwalk project is underway to reconnect the coastline by bypassing obstacles like the Central Wan Chai Bypass Tunnel and the ICAC headquarters. North Point Promenade is not just a quiet waterfront path. Now it is a bold reimagining of Hong Kong's shoreline identity. Built beneath the Island Eastern Corridor, this 2.2 kilometer long waterfront path connects Fortress Hill to Quarry Bay, roughly 400 meters of enhanced promenade space, now part of the 1.1 kilometer-long western section linking Fortress Hill to Quarry Bay. Key design features of the promenade include cascade seating for sunset views and fishing platforms along with fitness zones. Themed zones include Sunwave, Fishwave, and Gatherwave, each with its own vibe and activity focus. On the other hand, the Tong Shui Road public pier has been preserved and revitalized, and the North Point Promenade has been enhanced to include more open areas and leisure facilities. The promenade is not just a boardwalk, it's a living canvas of urban renewal, community engagement, and waterfront retelling. The North Point Ferry Pier originally opened in 1963, serving the now demolished North Point estate. The western berth was added in 1979. The Sun Ferry runs from North Point to Hong Kong. Ferries occur every 30 minutes from 7:23 a.m. to 17:53 p.m. Mondays to Fridays, except during public holidays. The North Point to Kwun Tong ferry line is operated by Fortune Ferry. It's a fascinating thread in the city's maritime weave, especially for those who appreciate under-the-radar infrastructure. The North Point to Kwun Tong ferry is operated by Fortune Ferry. The route goes from North Point to Kwun Tong, and then from Kwun Tong, you can take the ferry to Kai Tak, but not all ferries continue on to Kai Tak. The North Point to Kwun Tong ferry occurs every 30 to 45 minutes, with services from every morning from 6:30 a.m. to the evening at 6:10 p.m. The journey takes roughly 12 minutes. Ferries from North Point offer a quieter, more local view of Victoria Harbour compared to the tourist-heavy Star Ferry routes. It's also cheaper than taking the MTR if you're headed to places like Kwun Tong or Hong Kong. You can pay for both of these ferry routes with Octopus Card. Dine in style on Victoria Harbour on the Harbour Cruise Bauhinia. On this dinner cruise over the picturesque Victoria Harbour, you'll savor the cool evening breeze and soak up Hong Kong's majestic city lights. Enjoy a set dinner with a choice of Eastern or Western dining. You'll be entertained by live music. To make the evening even more memorable, the Symphony of Lights dinner cruise brings stunning imagery to your table as an array of unforgettable, colorful lights and flash sounds across 40 iconic buildings on both sides of the harbor. Use my link to book this dinner cruise using Klook. Antiques and coins traced back to the Northern Song Dynasty and Southern Song Dynasty were discovered in the neighboring Kowloon City District and Wong Tai Sin. Similar coins were also unearthed along the coast of Kwun Tong, starting from Kowloon Bay, suggesting that Kwun Tong has already been a relatively prosperous area since then. During the Great Clearance in the Qing Dynasty, coastal residents were forced to evacuate inland roughly 25 kilometers to quell support for the anti-Qing loyalists in Taiwan. This caused the salt farms in Kwun Tong to be abandoned. When the ban was lifted in 1669, many of the original inhabitants did not return. Resettlers who came from agricultural backgrounds soon took over, leading to vanishing of salt industry in Kwun Tong. Kwun Tong was originally known as Government Pond, as it was a major salt production site during the Song Dynasty. In fact, Kwun Tong's coastline once stretched towards Kowloon Bay to To Kwa Wan, forming part of the Song Dynasty's salt production network. In the 1950s, it became one of Hong Kong's first satellite towns and manufacturing powerhouses. The entire corridor from Kowloon Bay through Nam Tao Kok to Kwun Tong was a manufacturing powerhouse in the mid-20th century. Kwun Tong was one of the first major industrial areas in Hong Kong, with factories having been built there since the 1950s. The industrial area has since been expanded to Kowloon Bay and Yau Tong. Since the manufacturing sector of Hong Kong is in decline and many factories have been torn down and commercial buildings are being constructed to replace them, in recent years, the government has started to redevelop the coastal area of Kwun Tong to correspond with the redevelopment of the Kai Tak district, a promenade and park that has been built along the coast near the Kwun Tong Pier. Since 2010, old factory blocks have been repurposed into co-working spaces, art studios, and indie cafes. There are many creative undercurrents in the areas, including hidden gems, street arts and installations, and cultural contrasts. Explore upper floors of industrial buildings for leather workshops, supply stores, and even croissant boutiques. You will find murals and pop-up exhibits dotting the area, especially near the Kwun Tong Promenade and Yumen Square. The juxtaposition of gritty garages and sleek design hubs give the neighborhood its edge. Kwun Tong was once a manufacturing powerhouse filled with factories and warehouses. Today, those same industrial blocks have been repurposed into spaces for designers and artists, musicians and entrepreneurs, and creative workshops, as well as indie boutiques. The district is now a blend of old and new, where you might stumble upon an art installation next to a vintage handbag shop. The Kwun Tong Promenade is a stretch of reclaimed land offering harbor views and public art, perfect for a reflective walk. The Kwun Tong originally called the Kwun Tong Waterfront, but now known as the Kwun Tong Promenade, was originally the Kwun Tong Public Cargo Working Area. It was a bustling zone for waste and industrial shipping. It sat beneath the Kwun Tong bypass facing the typhoon shelter. The cargo area was downsized in 2009, and the promenade opened in two different phases. In phase 1, January 2010, a 200-meter stretch near the ferry pier was opened. And phase 2, May 2015, the promenade was extended to a total of 1 kilometer long. About 1 kilometer in length, the waterfront boardwalk in the promenade provides visitors with not only close-up views of the Kai Tak Cruise Terminal and the Runway Park, which are new landmarks of East Kowloon, but also a splendid nighttime view of Hong Kong Island East and panoramas of Victoria Harbour and Leiyu. Symbolic design elements on the Kwun Tong Promenade include a mechanical crane sculpture, which evokes the site's industrial past, and waste paper bundles, which is an artistic installation inspired by the recycling trade. A mist feature with special lighting and sound effects have been installed in the landscaped area. At nighttime, the lighting along the waterfront tree walk and tower landmarks flashes and changes, interacting with the mist of the water droplets emitted from the ground and the kaleidoscope beams from the uplights along the waterfront boardwalk to create a surreal and delightful atmosphere. The The promenade connects to Hoi Yuen Road's street art corridor, where murals reflect Kwun Tong's evolving identity. The promenade offers panoramic views of Kai Tak Cruise Terminal, Victoria Harbour, and the Kwun Tong Bypass, perfect for photography or quiet reflection. Panoramic skyline shots from the Kwun Tong Promenade capture the Kwun Tong Bypass, the promenade, and Kai Tak Terminal all in one frame. The promenade's design pays homage to its past while embracing a community-first feature, a living canvas of transformation. Kwun Tong's promenade is one of Hong Kong's most compelling examples of industrial memory turned public vibrancy. Kwun Tong has really evolved from its industrial roots into a vibrant district full of surprises. Use TripAdvisor to help create your itinerary. The Kwun Tong Promenade is a waterfront gem in Kowloon East that has been reimagined from its industrial past. Use trip.com to help plan your trip to the Kwun Tong Promenade. North Point is one of Hong Kong's most quietly captivating districts, a place where immigrant memory, industrial grit, and waterfront renewal converge in ways that reward slow exploration. Tong Shui Road, Electric Road, and Java Road each echo industrial ambition, sugar refineries, power stations, and shipping routes. The Sunbeam Theater preserves cultural memory through opera and adaptive reuse. Chun Yung Street is the only place in Hong Kong where trams glide through a wet market. North Point Ferry Pier offers rides over to Hong Hom and Kwun Tong, connecting neighborhoods through maritime heritage. Kwun Tong is one of Hong Kong's most compelling urban transformations, a district where industrial relics, creative reinnovation, and waterfront renewal collide. A trip from North Point to Kwun Tong threads together immigrant heritage, industrial memory, and waterfront renewal all in one trip. In my next vlog, I will be visiting Kowloon Park and K11 Museum in Tsim Sha Tsui.